Were you drinking a lot?
Not a lot. Not like Bert levels. But like last time I was sober, I was with him after the UFC fight, and Bert is just throwing back martinis.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I definitely made the right choice.
Yeah.
I definitely made the right choice. Like I'm watching him. He's slowly turning into a human grape in front of my eyes. He's fucking red in his face. He was hilarious.
He was.
I'll tell you that.
Sure.
He found out we were leaving, so he ordered 2 more to down on the way out the door. He just downed 2 martinis. I'll have 2 more. Like, just down these martinis on the way out the door. I'm like, this is fucking preposterous.
It's preposterous.
All right, so Tom Segura was just on Joe Rogan's podcast, and whenever he's on there, you know they're going to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes roasting Bert Kreischer, and it's always the best part of the episode. You know, it's always the funniest part. Like, the rest of it is just really boring, but hearing Rogan do his Bert impression is always pretty funny. You know, it's one of the few times where Rogan can actually be funny. Also, whenever he talks about Bert, he's always so shocked. He can't believe Bert's still alive. Like last time Tom was on there, Joe's like, man, I don't know how he's still going.
Bert, what did Bert go to see there? The Dead?
He's seen a few there. He saw the...
Of course he has.
He saw,
I gotta go.
he saw the Dead, and he saw... he went to the U2 show when they were there, too.
Oh, wow.
He said, yeah. He's like, I cried so much. You know. Of
course.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, of
Emotional.
course. Yeah. I cried the whole time.
Your liver's failing.
My daughters were making fun of me. I'm like, yeah.
They should.
Yeah.
They should mock you. He's a character.
He's on one. He was in a fucking Bender.
How's he doing these days? He benders. He goes off. He goes on.
Yeah,
He cleaned up for a little while, and he went right back in.
He's on a Bert. He's in a Bert cycle.
Yeah.
We were somewhere in Vegas, and somebody was like, you know, do you want this? He's like, can't. I'm hardcore keto. And I was like, okay. And then I run into him later. I'm like, how was it? He was like, dude, I was so hammered. I go, yeah, I know. He goes, yeah, I got back and I ate a dozen donuts. And I was like,
Oh my God. He's still alive.
mm-hmm.
I wonder how long you can do that for.
I mean,
How long can you do that for?
other favorite phrase. He's like, I quit drinking. I go, when? He goes, Wednesday. And I'm like, but it's fucking Friday. He's like, I know, but it's like 48 hours, nothing. I'm like, that's not
That's a normal
that's
person.
not how that term works.
And it sounds like Joe calls Bert a lot to tell him that he needs to get sober and needs to get his shit together. You know, I'm sure after their night out, he's probably like, geez, this is not good. I got to say something to him. And then also, I'm sure Joe randomly sees a lot of pictures of Bert drinking and shirtless and is like, yeah, I got to give him a call. Like recently, Bert was at a WWE event and the clip went kind of viral. And Bert's stomach in it looked like it was about to pop. And then the other day, Joe said he had to give Bert a call, and he told him he's got to do something about that.
Kool-Aid. Remember when you used to make Kool-Aid and it was like, what was it, like a cup of sugar?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then you throw the stuff in there. Bert Kreischer drinks that all day long. It's like a 64-ounce jug of Kool-Aid.
He was shredded.
Oh, he wasn't.
He was more shredded than he is now.
Yes. Yeah. But he's real big right now. I was just talking to him the other day. I was like, dude, you got to do something.
And since everyone's always concerned about Bert, he's always trying to prove that he's healthy. Like, he's always talking about how many push-ups he can do and how far he can run and how athletic he is. And I guess for the shape he's in, he is a decent athlete. Like, he'll surprise you, but he uses that to convince himself that he's actually healthy and the drinking is fine. I mean, most 2 Bears episodes just turn into him trying to convince everyone and himself that his drinking isn't out of control. And he'll ask people to help him, but he just wants them to tell him he's in good shape and the drinking is fine. Like, he asked Andrew Huberman for help, and Joe's like, he doesn't want help. He just wants you to listen to him talk about himself.
But a good solid percentage of my friends drink a lot. They drink all the time. They drink at clubs. Like
I tried
Shane
to get
Gillis.
Bert to quit.
Bert is not going to quit.
Well, he asked me to help him
Oh,
quit.
he doesn't mean
Otherwise,
that. He just
I
wants you to
wouldn't-
talk to him.
Oh,
Just
okay.
talk about Bert.
I'll
That's
talk
what he
about him.
wants. But that's what he wants. So
Oh,
let's
I'll
talk
talk
about
about
me.
him.
Let's talk about me,
I see.
about how I have to quit.
Got it.
Come on, talk to me about me. Let's make it all about Bert. That's what Bert likes. He's not going to quit.
Well, he was doing better with his health, and then he posted that photo of himself in the wetsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Bert. Like, get with it.
Did he get fat again?
Well-
He sent me a picture the other day. He was all skinny. Is he lying?
No,
Son
he's
of a
looking more
bitch.
like a melted candle.
Son of a bitch. He got big at least. Got jacked. He started
That's
lifting
good.
weights.
I feel bad making fun of him, but I'm not making
He
fun of
likes
him.
it.
I'm just worried.
long as you're talking
I'm
about
just
him.
worried about his health.
Oh, yeah, that's not good, Bert.
I'm worried about your health.
Well, the
Bert.
thing is, Bert is on tour, right? He's got painted toenails too. What the fuck are you doing? he's on tour.
Yeah, and Bert is always on tour, which is like a party to him. You know, he's drinking the whole time. But he will occasionally get skinnier and healthier, but only for like a month, and then he'll get right back to drinking. And I don't think he's taken a break in a while now. Like, they used to do Sober October, but they haven't done that in years because they just know Bert won't be sober.
Do you think we can get Bert to go sober for a month again? Because last year he was excited to not do it.
I don't want to speak for him, but no.
Maybe he could use it though, right?
I don't know.
Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for him.
No, it's never the worst thing for any of us to take a month off.
But for Bert, it's a big ass deal.
Yeah, it tests his
Will
for sure, and
will to live.
Cleans him up. I think he also kind of gets off on the challenge of it because so many people are like.
Bert's another one that has that delusional. I can't lose.
He is. I remember what was the one that I was like, "What are you doing?" When he was like, "I can do the splits." I was like, "No, you can't." I think I can. I was like, "You're gonna fucking tear your hamstrings."
When he told me he could, I really believed for a second he could. I was like, "Really? Wow."
So I think now that Rogan is having trouble getting through to Bert, he's like, okay, I'll just keep making fun of him then. Like, him and Tom, they're also laughing about how Bert will constantly tell everybody how his doctor always says he's perfectly healthy. And Joe and Tom are like, who the hell is this doctor? Like, there's no way that's possible. You know, it's almost like Bert just tries every doctor until he finds one that tells him he's healthy.
Talk to him, and he goes, I got all my blood work done. Perfect. Everything's perfect.
I know.
I was like, how's that possible?
He always says that. And I saw somebody comment the other day on our podcast. They go, the documentary about Bert's doctor who says blood work is perfect is going to be unbelievable.
It's a complete charlatan.
It's got to be, dude. It's got to be.
Dirty lab coat with a fucking mouse in his pocket. Like some
It's
crazy
gonna
guy.
be complete lunatic who's like, you're great.
Oh my God. That's so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, we had dinner and he was like, wine? Anybody want wine? And I was like, I'm good. And he's like, we'll do a bottle of wine for the and nobody had wine, so he just dumps the bottle into his glass. And he can drink it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's bizarre. Well, it's
crazy.
obvious, like, it's got to be an adaptive thing, right? Like running is. Like,
Yeah.
If you run never, you can't run a marathon.
Right.
But if you run a lot, you can run a marathon.
Sure.
You get it used to it. Your body gets accustomed to putting in the miles 5 before work every day.
You know, we always talk about that freak show shit he has in him. Like, he's freaky.
Yeah, he's a freak. Yeah.
We did the 5K in Tampa. We had like 8,000 people come out this year. It's
That's
crazy.
amazing.
And then they start talking about how Bert is somehow still athletic, which it probably isn't a good thing to let him know that, because then he thinks the drinking isn't that big of a deal. And in Bert's delusional mind, he might even think it helps somehow. He might try to convince himself of that. You know, he probably thinks he's biohacking by pounding a bunch of beer before running a 5K. I mean, that's how he is. So Tom brought up this event that they had where they ran a 5K and did a bunch of competitions. And Bert beat these NFL players at a competition to see who can hold out this beer mug the longest. So Tom and Joe were really impressed by it, but also it looks like Bert's arm was kind of bent the whole time. But shit like this and people praising Bert for this definitely makes him think like, oh, I'm perfectly healthy. Like, look what I just did here. So it probably doesn't help the fact that he's still kind of athletic. And then at the end of this, Joe's like, yeah, I wish he'd stop drinking, but also I guess it's working for him. You know, he made a ton of money just being a drunk. So, I mean, I don't want him to change, but I also want him to be healthy.
And then
Look at him. He's still smiling.
Oh, yeah.
He got nothing wrong. That's insane.
Yeah, and then they slowly fell.
I bet if he did his left arm, it would fall off. I bet he literally wouldn't be able to. He's just been holding up drinks so long.
Yeah.
Also, like, toasting crowds for so long. Look at this.
Yeah.
He beat everybody. He should hold out and just humiliate them after he's done. Just keep going.
Oh, he held it up after he was done.
That big guy looks like he's ready to break. He gave up.
Yeah, and he
Look
just
at Bert.
didn't even.
Look at this.
Yeah. Just insane.
He's got incredible genetics. Like, if he wanted to be an athlete, he'd be an incredible athlete.
Yeah, I think so. If he was like super dedicated to it, yeah.
Yeah, he's just trapped in booze. But it's also made him very rich. So I was like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
That's
Working
just,
out.
I love him.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want him to change, but I do. I mean, I want him to be healthy. But like when we first started doing Sober October, it was essentially just because we were worried Bert was going to die.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, he's still here.
I mean, the first one was the weight loss thing.
Blood works
you know?
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And it is wild that Bert can keep this up. Like most people his age, if they were to drink a fraction of the amount he does, they would die. So Bert probably thinks it's impressive that he can still drink this much. But I mean, if he were to quit, I'm sure the withdrawal would be brutal. But it could be a challenge for him. You know, I think people would be really impressed if he actually could get sober and change things up. I don't think that'll ever happen though. But let me know what you guys think. And if you want to hear about how Rogan recently freaked out because he thought a woke reporter infiltrated his comedy club, make sure you check out my Patreon. There are over 130 exclusive videos on there. And I've been talking a lot about Tim Pool recently. He keeps having meltdowns. And recently he was wondering why so many of his friends are secretly gay. And I just posted a video about that. It was hilarious. So if you're a fan of the channel and you like this content, make sure you check it out. It's definitely worth it. I'll put a link in the description.